Generally, one does PET-CT, but I want to give a demo here of comparing two CT studies instead of a PET-CT. We'll take this study. Normally, I just bring up the whole study, but here, since I wanted just to see the PET, I'll choose the standard, and this is a smaller one. Read. I was bringing them up. Okay. Bring this over. I'll expand it a bit. The plus sign. Now the problem is I want to remove this bed. So I want to choose this polygon selection, and I'll cite the bed. You want to stay away from the bed itself. You can modify these points. You don't have to be perfectly accurate. I want to avoid these points here. Okay, here's the bed which I want to cut off, including these two fuzzy points here. So what I got to do is going to edit, clear. And it tells me I'm going to process the whole image, which I certainly want to do. So hit yes. Now it turns out nicely black here. If it turns out to be something like white, you can change that. You can go into image and color and go to this color picker. And here's the background, which is now nicely black. So if this happened to turn it's a different color, I could choose the black point here. And it's okay, so I don't have to bother with this. Okay, here I've removed the bed. Now the next thing I'll do is bring up the PET-CT. PET-CT viewer. And here is the two studies. This is the short one which I use for PET, and this is the long one which I'll use for CT. So first I'll click both of them. You know, I can't click OK because I've got two CTs. It doesn't know what to do with that. So this, I'll change it to a CT PET, and now it agrees to accept it. So I'll hit the OK button, and it'll start to bring it up. Now here it's fairly slow because this CT is a large, it's 512 by 512 instead of 128. So the generating this MIP is going to take some time. Here's number on 3 of 16. It's got to go through and build them all. 5 of 16, so we simply have to wait. With the larger study, would obviously take even longer. So this is, I've made my life easy. Choose the smaller study as CT and the larger study. The smaller study is PET and the larger study is CT. Now it's up to 9, 11 on 11 out of 16 for the MIP. And I have no choice but to wait. When it finishes building the MIP, it'll come up. We're almost done. Here it tells me it's not a PET study. It doesn't know what the total dose is. So I just hit cancel on that. I've got a useless log file which I just remove. And here's the MIP rotating around. I can click this, and now you can see it looks nice. You don't see the bed. If I go around by the scroll button, here I can see what I haven't cut out. But if I tried cutting this thing out, I would start to cut out the patient. So I can't be overly aggressive. Likewise, there's some stuff here, but generally it's quite good. So I'm into the front mode, and here I can click on what I want. This is a fairly good MIP function. And this is the bed which I've cut out. that used to be here. And with that bed, you'd have all sorts of noise of the bed itself. So with the PET, obviously, the bed doesn't absorb any tracer, so you don't see it. But with the CT, you do see it. Okay, now there's one other thing I have to say. Now when I'm done, close the study. Now here, it's asking me if I want to save these changes I made by cutting up the bed. And I advise you not to keep it. To keep the original data without the changes. And that's it.